Lots of you have been asking recently about how to learn where shapes like fifths, thirds, sevenths and octaves are on the fretboard. So in this video lesson I'm going to help you visualise where 5 of these important shapes are on the bass, because they come up time and time again in different bass lines. Make sure you watch this video all the way through, because I'll be showing you a bonus shape as well at the end. Remember to subscribe to Greg's Bass Shed here on YouTube, and also you can get a PDF of this lesson. So I've got all the 5 important shapes on that PDF in fret diagrams, and that's really useful for you to reference and to remember these shapes. You can get that by clicking the link below in the description. The first shape we're going to look at is a fifth. Now, for those of you that don't know, the bass note of a chord, or the first note of the scale, is called the root note. So we build all our different intervals off this root note. Now we're going to deal with the root note of G for this video, just to make things easier so you can see the different shapes on a G, but make sure you practice them all over the fretboard, starting on different root notes. So we'll start on G, which is the root note. If we play a major scale, the first 5 notes, we get to the 5th note, and that's a fifth above the root note. So that's a D. So our root note's a G and the 5th note's a D. So we can see this shape here. On the bass, we play the G there, we go to the next higher string and then along up 2 frets. So just try that on your bass. And if we started, say, the root on a D, the 5th's there. Say we started the root on this high C here, which is the 10th fret of the D string, then the 5th would be here. So you can see, you just remember that pattern and take it around the bass, and that's always a 5th. You'll hear this 5th pattern in a lot of bass lines, especially in Latin music, New Orleans jazz, especially the Sousa and the tuba lines, and in country and many other styles of music. Now this Latin bass line, for example, which is Spain, a tune called Spain by Chick Corea, just uses 5ths. So that's just 5ths moving around on different chords. The second shape we're going to look at is an octave. Now octave means 8 notes. So all we do is we go 8 notes up. And the octave, it has the same name as the root, and it's just 8 notes higher or 8 notes lower. So if we start on the G, and we play a G major scale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that there we find that high G. So that is the root, and that G there is the octave. So to memorise that shape, you play the root and you go 2 strings higher and 2 frets across. So in fact it sits the next string higher to the 5th. So we have root, 5th, octave. Octaves feature a lot in bass lines, and probably the most popular octave lines you know are in disco lines. So they're just octaves all the way along. The third shape we're going to look at is a major third. So again we play a major scale from G, 3. So that's a major third. So we start on G, and to get the major third we go a string higher and a fret down. And we'll move straight away to the 4th shape, because it's a minor third, so it's similar. That's a major, and that's a minor. If we play the G minor scale, that's the minor there, so we actually just go up another 3 frets from the root. You can play it here, because that's like the major third but with a flat on it. But if we're going to use 5ths and octaves, it's better to play the third here, because then you're in the right hand position to play the 5th or the octave. So that's more usual to play in that position. So that's a really important distinction when you're playing through a chord chart, for example, is that you get whether it's a major or a minor chord. So major, minor, and that can make a real difference to the chord. A classic bass line that uses both major and minor thirds is One Step Beyond by Madness. So we have this shape here. What that is, that's root, minor third, 5th, minor third on a C. So and then the same pattern on F, and then back to C. And when we go to the chorus, to a G, we're actually playing a major pattern. So on G, major third, fifth, major third, and then step down. So that's a good extra pattern to remember as well, incorporating the fifth. So minor third, fifth, major third. And there are arpeggios actually as well. If you put the octave on at the top, you have the arpeggios. If you need any help with arpeggios, I've got a lesson, should come up there, a card which you can click on, and that will give you more information about arpeggios. The fifth shape we'll look at is a flat seventh. Now to get that, we get the seventh note of the major scale, which is an F sharp, and we flatten it, so we just go down a half step or down a semitone. So that's the flat seven. And if we look at where it is, the shape of it, we play the G root, we go higher 2 strings, up 2 strings, and then we stay on the same fret, so it's above the G with a string gap in between. A well-known bass line that uses this flat 7 is Black Magic Woman, the Santana version. So the bass line we've got, and what that is, if we're starting on a D, we've got root, fifth, flat 7, octave. Got those 4 notes. And you can see it's in this sort of box shape. We just use these 3 frets. It's in this kind of box here. Hopefully you now understand how important these 5 shapes are and how they're used all the time in different bass lines. So make sure you look at the shapes and really try to visualise them. Visualise where they are on the fretboard, and those diagrams are really going to help. So you can download those on a PDF below. And practice them all over the bass. So just pick different random root notes and try these different shapes. The bonus shape I'm going to show you is a diminished shape. And now we can look at that as stacking minor thirds on top of each other. So G, minor third, and then we move to the string higher and up a fret. And then same again. So really it's 4 notes, and then we're on the G again. So that's a diminished shape, and that's quite fun actually to play and to visualise over the fretboard, and you can try and speed it up as just a good exercise. Good coordination exercise too. Well, I hope you enjoyed this lesson and found it useful. If you did, can you please like and share this video? Also subscribe to me here on YouTube and pick up the PDF below by clicking the link in the description. You might also find my website gregsbassshed.com useful. I've got more videos up there and more bass resources, so go and check that out and have a look. See you in the next video. This is Greg from Greg's Bass Shed.